Most filmmaking disasters, yeah, they don't actually happen on camera. They happen months before anyone even yells action. In this explainer, we're diving into the absolute bedrock of pre-production, the script breakdown. We're talking about how you take a purely creative story, a screenplay, and turn it into a hardcore logistical blueprint. If you've ever wondered how the magic actually makes it to the screen without the whole thing falling apart, well, it starts right here.
Picture this for a second. You get to set. The lighting is totally dialed in, your actors are pumped, camera is rolling, and you realize you left the one, single, absolute most crucial prop behind. Or, suddenly it hits you that today's location requires specific wardrobe that is literally sitting in a warehouse 30 miles away. Ouch. The hard truth here, these aren't just bad luck or unpredictable disasters, they're planning failures, plain and simple.
But hey, that's exactly why we're here. We're going to systematically solve the chaos today. Here's the game plan for this explainer. First up, the paradigm shift. Then, we'll hit the 6 essential elements, explore the departmental ecosystem, run through a practical demonstration, and wrap up with avoiding common mistakes.
All right, part 1, the paradigm shift. Reading for production.
Look, as creators, our gut instinct is to read a script strictly for the story, right? We're looking at the emotion, the character arcs, the crazy plot twists. But the second pre-production kicks off, you have to flip a mental switch. You have to start reading for production. You stop looking at a narrative and start looking at a strict logistical document. You're basically transforming poetry into a very, very detailed set of checklists.
And that brings us to the actual script breakdown. Basically, it's the process of examining every single scene in a screenplay and identifying absolutely all the elements needed to film it. You are quite literally turning words on a page into a practical, actionable checklist. Every physical thing you end up seeing on screen, it starts right in this process.
Moving on to part 2, 6 essential elements. What to extract?
Okay, so here are the 6 structural pillars for literally any professional shoot. We've got scene number, cast, location, props, wardrobe and makeup, and finally, special requirements. Let's quickly unpack why every single one of these is absolutely vital.
Starting off with the scene number. Assigning a unique number to a scene anchors your entire crew. It's the glue that keeps your schedules, your equipment, and a mountain of paperwork organized. Because, let's be real, you almost never shoot a movie in chronological order. By numbering those scenes, everybody knows exactly what we're tackling that day, even if you're shooting the emotional climax on day 1 of production.
Next up, cast and location. Identifying who is in a scene completely dictates your actors' scheduling, makeup times, and rehearsals. I mean, think about it. If an actor suddenly isn't available, that entire scene is toast and needs rescheduling. And locations? Figuring out if a scene happens in a remote mountain village versus, say, a cozy living room massively impacts your lighting setups, the permits you need, and how you physically get your crew out there.
Then we have props versus wardrobe and makeup. Props are the specific objects actors actually handle. A camera, a smartphone, a walking stick. You got to source all of that before you shoot. Wardrobe and makeup, on the other hand, track costumes and the character's overall appearance. What are they wearing? Is the jacket clean or is it ripped up from a previous fight scene? Did their hairstyle change? Both of these require crazy meticulous continuity tracking day in and day out. And the 6th one, special requirements. Oh boy, these are the elements that dramatically raise the stakes and definitely raise your blood pressure. We're talking rain machines, live animals, vehicles, fire, drone shots, stunts. These aren't just cool creative choices. They are massive logistical hurdles. They usually mean pulling extra permits, beefing up safety measures, or bringing highly specialized pros onto your set.
All right, part 3, the departmental ecosystem. Who actually uses this stuff?
Let's zoom out for a sec. Why did we make all these lists? Well, one single script breakdown branches out to empower multiple departments. Everybody is working from the exact same screenplay, but they're hunting for totally different details. Your producer uses it to estimate costs. The AD builds the daily schedule from it. The art department is hunting for props, costume is pulling clothes, and the camera team is planning their gear. It's one script, feeding a whole ecosystem of departments, all unified by this single document.
So, part 4, practical demonstration, actionable examples.
Let's step into the director's chair and actually do this. Check out this short, deceptively simple scene. It reads, exterior, mountain path, day. Ollie walks toward his grandfather carrying a camera. His grandfather is collecting grass using a traditional sickle. A donkey waits nearby. Ollie takes out a notebook and begins asking questions. Now creatively, it's this nice quiet character moment. But logistically, let's extract the data. Boom, there's your breakdown. Look at how that tiny moment instantly generates a massive multi-department checklist. Because it's an exterior mountain path, we suddenly need outdoor weather backup plans. Because there's a donkey standing there, we need an animal handler on the payroll. We have to source a traditional sickle, a notebook, a camera. And sound, they need to prep for wind and bird noises. With this framework, absolutely nothing slips through the cracks.
Which brings us to Part 5, Avoiding Common Mistakes. Rookie Errors.
Even with a killer system, things can go sideways. Amateur productions almost always make the mistake of only listing the super obvious stuff, like the main cast and the locations, while totally forgetting the smaller, critical details, like background extras or a solid weather plan. The result? Total chaos and expensive delays. A professional shoot, though, survives on complete checklists and constantly updated documents. That's how you guarantee an efficient, oiled machine of a crew.
And that leads right into the golden rule. Whenever the screenplay changes, the breakdown absolutely must change too, period. Failing to update your breakdown after a script revision is a fatal error. You've got to treat this as a living, breathing document. If the writer suddenly decides to swap that donkey for a horse the night before, your animal handler, your budget, and your transport all have to pivot immediately.
To kind of wrap up our core takeaway for this explainer, there's this great quote from the source material that really hits the nail on the head. The script breakdown becomes the foundation for almost every planning document, from shooting schedules and budgets to call sheets and equipment lists. It's this meticulous, sometimes tedious pre-production step that actually saves you time, slashes errors, and gets your entire crew pulling in the exact same direction.
So, I'm going to leave you with this to chew on. Now that your breakdown is totally complete and the physical logistics are perfectly dialed in, how will you plan your camera angles before you even step foot on set? It's a whole new layer of the puzzle, transitioning from what we need to exactly how we're going to visually capture it. But we'll have to tackle the magic of the shot list another time. Thanks so much for hanging out for this explainer, and keep learning.